Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah.
All right. Let me make sure all the things is up before he come down and yell at me. All right. Last week I really
Mhm.
forgot. So, what's good, guys? This is your favorite dime, and I am here with the one and only. Oh,
There we
I'm
go.
here with the one and only VJ. What's good,
Hey, what's
VJ?
up? What's up? What's up? Welcome, people.
You are tuned in to Making Moguls. We are on every single Monday at 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right
And
here on Extreme 104 FM.
facts. And I'm really excited because today's show, y'all know how I get. Y'all know how I get.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Today is a very special show. Okay? And our guest is looking for parking.
Lit. Okay, perfect.
It's a very special show because those of you who do not know, I own a brand, um, a
They don't
company
know by
called,
now.
right, like, y'all gotta figure it out, like, come on. Um, yeah, so I have a company called Dime Life Productions,
Mm-hmm.
and we produce a celebrity fashion show called Celebs in Fashion,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody loves it, and
They
it's
do.
always a great time
Every single time.
every single time. And today we're actually bringing on a celebrity designer, so that's extremely exciting.
We know New York Fashion Week is coming up.
Right, exactly. I wonder if he's doing. Okay, so let's talk about us.
All right, let's talk about us. What's up?
New York Fashion Week for the last 2 years has been kind of you
Oh, yeah.
know.
I mean,
For me, it's been very
we're in the middle of
hit
a
or miss.
panoramic, so.
Yeah, but the panoramic can't keep stopping the show. It stopped the show for almost 2 years now. The last Celebs of Fashion we had was February 2020.
Yep. Yep.
We can't have this.
Wow, February
This is
2020.
crazy. It's too much.
Yep.
Too much. We can't have this. So, what I'm doing is this month I'm launching a content day at New Heat Studios. So you can come by and take your pictures and work on your portfolio and you know
Oh, that's lit. What day is that?
we're going to do it every Friday starting next Friday.
Okay. I might have some people to send your way.
Yes,
They
please
they
do.
need that content, some
Right.
headshots
And it's going to be super cheap too. I'm not even making it like OD expensive or nothing like that. Like it's really going to be
for the people.
mhm.
Okay.
You know how I am.
Definitely.
So, so yeah, I wanna actually wait until he gets in here to talk about what's it called? To talk about our wins for the week.
Okay.
Yeah. So after we did it that first time, I've been doing it every show.
Hey, that's lit.
I've been doing it every show. Let's get some background. Yo, like I'm really figuring it out. You feel me? We got
Yeah.
little background sounds and stuff like that. Let me make sure
Okay.
this is down because I don't got no time for this thing to be playing all types of commercials and stuff.
That's a fact.
So how are you, VJ?
I'm good. I'm blessed.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a good week.
I
Has it been a
mean,
good month? Because actually, the new month starts tomorrow.
that is
So
true. That is true.
talk to me.
For the most part, it has. This month did not come without its trials and tribulations, but
Hmm.
for the most part, it has been a good month. I've been focusing on the blessings and the manifestations and
Right.
keeping that energy up. So, for the most part, it's been a good month. I can't really focus on the negatives too much.
As you should. As you should. As long as you're, realistic about where you are and what needs to change, yeah, you don't ever focus on the negative. It's not about that. It's just about adjusting from where you are, you
Yep,
know?
that's a fact. It's all about adjustments. So,
So,
September, I said September. Wow, I wish. February's coming up in a couple of hours. And we got a new month, a new chance, it's about to be Black History Month.
Yes. Where's my video, VJ?
Which video?
The video I asked you for Black History Month. Where's it at?
Oh yeah, I got you. I got you.
Because I know that, people be busy, but
Yeah, I was supposed to do it, Karina, because we were supposed to be on a link, but then that didn't
mm,
happen the way how it's supposed to happen. So
okay. I mean,
if I
that's
if I
that's
don't have
cool.
her, if I don't link with her like within the next couple of days, I just do it and send it to you.
Okay. That works because,
Time is money, man.
exactly. It got to happen.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I don't know about this music thing. I hear it on the phone, but I don't hear it through the board. So I'm doing something wrong. That's fine. Just, just not now.
Isn't it this one?
Yeah.
Don't you gotta take it off?
Yeah, I did.
And it still wasn't playing?
Mhm.
Oh
All right.
wow.
So let's see. It's funny because I'll talk about the show all day.
Mhm.
Again, just remember, guys, every single Monday at 7 p.m. We
This
are live.
Monday, next
We are
Monday, the
live.
Monday after that.
Right. So when you hit me up while I'm doing the show to ask me how to tune in, that's kind of counterproductive, don't you think?
Yes. Especially since it's on the flyer.
Right. All the ways.
Every time.
Like all the way, every single way.
Yeah, can I speak about the fact that like we've been in this for at least 10 years. This game for at least 10 years.
At least,
Doing flyers specifically for at least 10 years.
right.
And it never ceases to fail that somebody will hit you up for the information that's on the flyer.
Right.
And you would think maybe I made this flyer so small that they can't read, or put a
Mm,
lot of words on the flyer. Maybe I
mm,
put clashing colors and they can't.
mm-mm. No.
The flyer be black and the words be white, and it's still.
Man, I don't know. People don't like to read, and that's cool.
But then they gotta
But
read your message answering
read later.
them.
Like read first and then talk to me,
I
cause I
just be
don't know.
confused
I
because
can't help
I would
you.
understand if you don't like to read it, so you call me to hear my voice.
Right,
But
and
if you
that's cool too.
text me
Because if you
to
love me
ask
that
me,
much,
you gotta read my response. So you could have read the
you know
same
what?
words that you're reading.
Yup, I am flaming you on live, but I love you. See, I ain't say no names, so it's
Yeah,
cool.
for me it wasn't personal to that one person because as I said, for
Oh
10 years,
no, because this has been happening for
for ten
forever.
years,
It's cool. We
yeah.
we we make it happen. We make it work. But yeah, I can't. I think that's him. So how about you start with your win
Okay,
for this past week?
all right. All right. Let me think. Let me think. What was my biggest win for this week? Um, I guess my biggest win for this week was being able to talk and learn from another consultant in the game.
Mhm.
Um, and for me, most of my consulting experience and focus has been on helping the little guy, so to speak,
Mhm.
helping the startup and the small business and the person with the idea to develop. Um, but I've always had a hesitancy to shoot for the big guy, the big corporation. And that my win this week was being able to talk to one of my now good friends who's a consultant for like 25 years, who's worked with Disney, Sony, Apple, all the big companies,
Wow.
and really just like get to pick his brain on how to approach the big guys.
Mhm.
And the best part of it was the only thing that was getting in my way was me. Like I could have just done it.
That's
I
usually
could
the
have I
case.
could have just done it. Like
Right.
there was no extra anything I needed to do. It was just I should have just pitched.
Sometimes we just get in our own way.
Yeah,
It's
we,
so
we set
easy
we
to
set these
just.
things up, these expectations up, these all of these roadblocks that we believe are reasons why we shouldn't do anything or don't know how.
Mhm.
Um, when literally 9 times out of 10, all you gotta do is shoot your shot.
That's a fact.
And so it was really nice to hear that and to really understand it.
Mhm.
Because it's one thing to believe in yourself, which is the most important thing.
Right.
But to hear somebody else who has the experience that you want to do just point out to you that you're already on your way,
Mhm.
it's a lot. It's very reassuring.
Right.
So
That's a fact.
that's what I consider my big win for this week.
Yeah, you definitely miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So
Yep.
stop standing in your way, guys.
Mhm.
For me, can you go get him? So for me, I think that my best, well, not my best, one of my wins for the week is today I actually worked on my website. So it takes a lot for me to like focus on one thing because I have so many different things going on. Um, and it's kind of frustrating because it's like you know what you need to do, but when you don't do it, it's kind of like, all right, I'm gonna get to it, I'm gonna get to it, I'm gonna get to it. And we started the year off, me and VJ, as well as two other people that are actually coming on the show next month. We got on a live and we talked about 10 things to leave in 2021. Almost forgot what year it was, jeez. And honestly, I want to say that I've been working hard at that list because it takes a lot for me to just kind of like, it takes a lot for me to, you know, hone in on one thing. So for me to work on my website today, that was kind of crazy. Like that was a good one for me. That was a big win for me. Um, so VJ,
Uh huh.
how about you talk about what your next project is your with Cannabaddies?
The next project.
Yeah, what you got going on?
Okay. 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 All right. So the next project we got going on. It's a mix of a couple of things actually. So next thing we got coming up is a merch drop. We're dropping a new bodysuit that's gonna be coming out probably in the next couple months. Um, I'm actually excited about that because we're expanding into bigger sizes, um, being more body inclusive, which I'm excited about. It's been hard to find the right merchandise and the right vendors that create things that look good on small bodies as well as big bodies.
Mhm.
But I think we found the right one,
Okay.
so that's exciting. Our membership platform is developing as coming. Our community is building up. We've got a few awesome virtual events that's going to be happening in February.
Mhm.
That's going to be dope. And we're really focused on building out this community and getting ourselves into the next space because
Mhm.
tech is moving really fast these days,
That's a fact.
like really really fast these days. And so to be able to merge cannabis and tech is a real fun thing, especially when you put beautiful women and good weed in the middle.
Okay. I know that's right. All right. So I'm really excited to see what you got going on. You still got a credit at the studio, so I'm waiting for you to
Yeah, I know,
set that
I know,
photo shoot up.
I know.
Like, let's make it happen.
Don't
New
worry,
Heat
it's
is
coming.
waiting for you.
It's coming. I'm gonna bring the heat to new heat. Don't worry.
Okay, that's what I like to hear. That is what I like to hear. All right, so our special guest has made it.
Wait,
I'm
time
really
out.
excited. Oh, huh? What?
You wearing the whole Dom Life
Oh,
Jamaican
yeah.
Moguls merchandise, and you ain't even say nothing. She ain't even
Listen,
say
y'all,
nothing.
because the merch ain't dropped yet,
So, but you
okay?
got a preview. That's
These is
hype.
my special
That shit is
exclusives.
fire. Fire.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, guys. So merch will be dropping for the show. This is actually a Dime Life logo,
Uh huh.
but I will have merch dropping for Making Moguls very very soon. That is a February thing. It's on the list.
On the list.
Okay, we working
You
one at a
getting there,
time.
checking them off.
Not knock them down, knock them down. But we talking about clothes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to get into this. I need to talk about this guest that we have here. So I'm actually really excited because I don't even remember how I found him.
Mhm.
Okay, I think somebody tagged me in a post or something like that, and I was like, nah, I gotta get this guy up here. So we actually have Lionel, the CEO and founder of Mario and Lee, in the building.
Hey.
Okay, what's up?
Hello, hello, hello. Thank
How
you
you
for having me.
doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. I'm
Good
glad
to
to
be
hear
here.
that. Look, you came out. It's cold. We appreciate you.
That's a
No
fact.
doubt. We set the date. We made it happen.
That's a fact. That's a
Exactly.
fact.
Yo, I missed my train and everything. I was on the platform like, oh my god, oh jeez. But we are here. How is your month? Like, how did your month go? Just
My month.
talk.
Oh,
Yeah. How did your month go?
shoot. My month has been crazy. Honestly. Top of the year, I was down in Atlanta. I was down in Atlanta, top of the year, and I feel like just getting out of New York at times kind of just helps you. You know, it's a recenter.
Recenter. That's a fact.
You know, because there's so much going on. There's like my friends who moved out the city are like, yo, New York is like a prison. Like it's just tall buildings. You can't see out past like a certain radius in any
Yeah, yeah,
direction.
yeah.
You know, so it's just nice to go to a place where you could put your feet on the ground. Like my bro that lives down in Atlanta, he lives in the burbs.
Okay,
So
okay,
I
okay.
go to the crib, go outside in the backyard, and just like recenter and stuff like that.
That's a
So
fact. That's a fact.
yeah, so that was the start of the month. Came back to New York, and one of my boys was like, "Yo, Gunna's having a album. He's dropping his album, but he's doing a meet and greet in New York City."
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, "Yo, I definitely like not even talking about Gunna from a perspective of music, but talking about him from a perspective of fashion. Like
Uh huh.
Mm,
he's one of the most looked at people in fashion right now because he is adventurous. Like
He
he's not one of
is.
those who are timid about trying new things and really displaying his own creativity and his own sense of fashion.
That's a
right.
fact.
So when I was informed like he was going to be in New York City, I'm like, you know what? I gotta make him a piece.
Mhm.
I gotta make him a piece. So ended up cooking up a jacket the day of, and then ended up happening is got to the meet and greet. He was leaving.
Oh
As I
wow.
as I
Oh.
got to the meet and greet, he was on his way out. So
Oh, hold on. I got you.
uh,
It's the mic. It's
okay,
fine.
okay.
1 second, guys.
Word. All right. This is good
Go.
here.
There we
Right,
go.
getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
okay. I'm new to this, so
That's okay. Listen.
it's gonna come with time. It's gonna come with time.
That's a fact.
Right. We here with you. It's good. Go
So
ahead.
yeah, found out that he was gonna be in New York. So I'm like, you know what? Let me slide, drop him off this piece at the meet and greet. Got there. As soon as we got there, somebody was like, yeah, he just left.
Damn.
Wow.
So I was like, you know what? It's all good because I'm a firm believer in God. So my perspective on life is like, if it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen, and when it happens, it's the time it's gonna happen.
Uh huh.
Mhm.
So I didn't really trip over it. Just went back to the car, drove back to the crib, went to sleep. I woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't sleep. So roll over, scroll on Instagram,
Yeah.
Mhm.
open my DMs. Because when I got back home, I was like, you know what? Let me post the jacket on social media and be like, yo, everybody tag Gunna.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is, very old school method,
Yeah.
but
But it worked.
it worked. I end up, everybody ended up tagging him, and then somebody who knew somebody on his camp reached out to me and was like, yo, we showed him the jacket. He's at this location right now. Mind you, by now it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. They're like, yo, he's at this location right now. He said, pull up.
That's crazy.
So I'm like,
That's
yo, I know my God be working, cause
Yeah.
Yeah.
you feel me? So I just ended up pulling up there like 3:30 in the morning, and handed off the jacket to him. He's like, yo, that's drip for sure.
Yeah, I saw the
You
video.
know what I'm saying? If you see the video, head over to my Instagram page,
Right.
check it out. Yeah, so he was like, yo, he really liked the jacket and stuff like that. So we was like, all right, Because that's my thing. Like, I'm a person who I believe, like, yo, if you don't like something, be true about not liking something. Because with me, I put time into everything that I create. So,
Mhm.
like, in hindsight, people have always been like, the best way to go about getting getting like celebrities and your stuff is just run down on celebrities and just
Yeah,
hand
yeah.
off your goods.
Right.
But my take on it is like I don't have like merch where I'm doing bulk production.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Everything I do, I sit there on the sewing machine for hours.
Mhm.
And I
Right.
sew everything myself. So for me to say sit down and sew for 14 hours straight or 12 hours straight or whatever it is, to make a piece to hand it off to somebody who is gonna take it in that moment and just like, oh,
Yeah, it's cool, and then
it's
just
cool and just throw it to
yeah.
the side. Then it's like, honestly, I would have kept that for myself because where I see myself in the future,
Mhm.
all those pieces I make, even if I was intended to give it to somebody and they didn't want it, I'd have taken that back because I plan on doing like a gallery. I plan on doing like a
Yes.
gallery. I plan on having my own like museum, like my own space in a
Yeah.
museum one day.
Right.
That's how I perceive myself in the future. So you know, everything that I make, I feel like it's gallery worthy.
Mhm.
So if you don't want it, don't just throw it to the side or toss it or throw it away, whatever. Like I keep
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Even like
Facts.
I'm not pressed for clout. So it's like it's not an attention thing where it's like, oh yeah, such and such got my stuff. It's like, nah, if you appreciate it, it's art. You
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
So for me, it's like, yo, if you like it, cool. I want to see you wear it because you like it. Don't
Mhm.
just take it to take it.
To take it,
Spare
Right.
my
yeah.
feelings. I'm a big boy. You feel me?
Yeah, that's a
Like,
fact. That's a fact.
I'm saying. So we're not pressed about that. And then after that, I actually got reached out to by a friend of mine. He um he informed me that Pix11 was looking for someone for an interview
Okay,
on the
okay,
life of Andre Leon Talley.
okay. Yeah.
Mm.
So they reached out to me and
I saw that clip too.
yeah. So I sat down and gave a little 1-2 about his impact on fashion, especially being a person of color.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because the barriers he broke.
Mhm.
His style was so eccentric. He created his own style. Like there's nobody who's ever really like carried themselves at his caliber. So
That's a fact.
Right.
so it was just like it's a great loss to fashion, but he opened doors for people like Pierre Moss, Virgil, and like Kanye, everybody. Like
Mhm.
True. That's a fact.
Mhm.
so our goal now is just to keep carrying the torch.
Yeah, move that legacy forward.
Exactly,
That's a
exactly.
big fact. That's a big fact.
But that was my month thus far. You know what I'm
That's what's
saying?
up.
So
That's what's up. That's a great way to
first
start the
quarter,
year.
you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So that's really my take on life right now. It's like let's have an efficient first quarter,
Mhm.
and then just keep going from here. Cause I know you guys. I don't know if you guys wrote down like New Year's resolutions or anything like that.
Yeah, we don't do resolutions over here. We do goals though.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I'm not doing none of that this year. Only
Uh-huh.
thing I'm doing is making sure that I'm more intentional about everything that I do.
Yes.
That's a nice. That's
That's
a
Absolutely.
nice
my
way to.
that's my mantra for this year. That's intentional is the word for this year.
Nice, nice,
Everything
nice.
that you do, you have to just make sure that you know why you're doing it and how it ties into the bigger picture.
That's a fact.
Yo.
So
You are
that's
preaching. He should have been on the
I
live.
know. I know.
so that's the start of the year thus far. Actually just posted a sweater that I decided spontaneously like, yo, I'm gonna just release it because I got the samples in. A few days ago. It was my bro's birthday. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna style you in all the samples.
Mm.
Nice.
So yeah, for your birthday, you can shoot all of that. You get your birthday shoot, you get your video, you get your footage, all of that content for
That's
yourself,
what?
and then I'm gonna use that as my drop content. So I actually just dropped a piece today, literally on my drive here. Don't text and drive, but
Right.
Business got to get handled sometimes.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So
Gotta get you
I
some
threw it up on the Instagram and stuff like that. So it's going crazy right now.
That's
Yeah, you
fine.
should go check it out.
That's what's
Yeah,
up, that's what's up.
absolutely. Are you doing anything for Fashion Week?
So Fashion Week, I'm very spontaneous. My life is very
Okay.
spontaneous,
Okay.
So I'm open to doing something for Fashion Week. Right now, I don't have anything solidified.
Okay.
I was actually contemplating on doing my own show,
Mhm.
but
You're real close now.
Tom,
You're real close.
Yeah.
but
That's why we didn't do it. We usually every Fashion Week, we produce a fashion show. Um, I've been planning fashion shows for the last 10 years. That's why this was like a really exciting interview for
I didn't
me.
know that. So,
Yeah. So
Love them
September,
fashion.
I'm gonna be on your line.
I
Okay.
say that. We're going through something. Like, honestly, like I said, my life has been so spontaneous.
Yeah.
Like,
Facts.
I've been designing since 2011. You know,
Oh,
so
wow.
I got years in it. So I don't want anybody who sees like everything happen in my life to be like, oh, you know,
It happened
he just
overnight.
he just popped up in the industry. Nah,
Right.
like,
And
I've
it's
been
not
doing
like
this
that.
for years.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna get that out the way early. I've been doing this for a very long time, you know, and I'm a firm believer in the, 10,000 hours of mastery, and it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. Like,
Yeah.
it's really the work that you got to put in, long term. So
Right.
I don't know where I'm gonna be in September. I don't know where my life is gonna be
Listen,
in September.
I'm telling you that you're gonna be at Celebs in Fashion 10.
That's
So you're gonna be.
So we're gonna put that on the calendar. We're gonna put that on the calendar.
Nah, that's
God
dope
willing.
though. How would you explain? So you're a very spontaneous person, especially when it comes to your brand. What is your creative process like then?
So,
Like, do you just go, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna put this and this together and.
I would say that I go off of like, my creative process is derived a lot from like how I'm feeling, So like my latest drop, I made that piece because like on the front it says I need you. You know, and on the back
I saw it.
it's a bouquet of flowers and it says friends from my friends and family.
Mm.
And for me it was like sometimes we forget how much we need each other, and
Yeah.
it's a time where like death is so constant. It's like it's so like life right now is kind of eerie just based on the fact that like with COVID and just the type of
And
time
the streets
we're
is
in
hot
right now.
these
Exactly,
days,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So it's a lot going on, and it's just a constant reminder for me that whatever you're going through, you're bigger than your battles,
Right.
and we need you. I need you. Like you gotta stay around. So whatever you going through, you gotta get through it because it's like don't forget that there's people out there who love you,
Right.
And that's me giving, everyone their flowers. And that's why, like, even like I said,
That's tough. I like that.
when I get the opportunity to tap in and give artists stuff, it's not a matter of, oh, look at this person's platform. I'm doing this because I have access now to their platform. It's like, yo, whatever industry you're in, whatever your artistry is, I respect that. And I feel like you deserve your flowers for what you're doing, because that's kind of like something that I've been doing over the last few years. Back in 2019 when Tory Lanez dropped the Chicks tape, I pulled up to his meet and greet and I gave him a jacket and he threw that on the spot. When I heard of Nips passing, I made this jacket. Crazy story. So I made the jacket and I was like, you know what? I want to give this to like Black Samuel in London. You feel me? So I had the jacket, went all the way out to Cali for Complex Con. I'm like, yo, maybe I might run into somebody that know the family and stuff like that, and be like, yo. And I tell them like I'm trying to hand this off, and they set that up.
Right.
So I went all the way out to LA. It didn't happen like that. Came back to New York. They had a marathon pop up. So I start creeping on Instagram. I'm like, yo, who's here? I seen Jay Stone was there, and then I seen Black Sam on the live, and I was like, you know what? I'm definitely gonna pull up. So I pulled up, waited online for like 8 hours.
Oh my
Damn.
goodness.
Waited online for like
That's
8
dedication,
hours.
bro.
He pulled up, had a chance to chop it up with him and, just let him know how much, like, Nipsey's legacy impacted so many people because like, you see where he came from. The fact that, like, I swear that, literally like a week before he passed away, I was in the room with my brother and I was like, yo, it's crazy to think about it how, like, there's some people who, they develop their success and they're able to still stay in their hood, and it's just like they're untouchable. A few, like literally a week before.
Yeah.
And then we got the news that he passed, and I was just like, yo, it is so crazy because you literally see people in the way they carry themselves and the respect that they get that, nobody out of respect is going to do anything to this person to deal with anybody, anything like that,
You would think.
Just because, when you look at somebody and how they carry themselves, especially when you're looking at the perspective of like, yo, you really trying to live your life in God's image regardless of your past. You know what I'm saying? And you doing for your community and you being a good steward of whatever you've received from God, and then somebody gonna do that? It's it's mind-boggling. So, I just had to, show my respect in that regard, and that's when I tapped in and I was able to give that to Black Sam. I think that was one of my favorite trade-offs I've ever had, you know,
Wow.
in terms of getting something to somebody because of how meaningful it was. Um, I got something to Pop Smoke right before he passed, and that was a crazy thing too.
Yeah.
Ended up going to his album release for Meet the Woo 2. Bought the jacket to him, and I handed him the jacket. And I know DJ JP was just
Yeah,
his
DJ.
his
Yeah.
DJ. So I tapped in with JP. I'm like, yo, bro, let's set something up. Whether I come to the studio and we set up a shoot.
Right.
And he was like, yo, we gonna try to make something happen. We got time.
Yeah.
And that was that's the conversation me and JP had. He was just like, yeah, we got time. You feel me? And I think that's something that we gotta really be mindful of, and we gotta reconsider that. That's why I say with intention.
Mm-hmm.
When we get that idea, when we go through what we going through, we gotta just sometimes. I feel like sometimes we just gotta act on certain aspects of things.
Right. You can't keep putting everything off to tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like.
Yep.
I've done it so much, and that's why I say I'm spontaneous with what I do. Because if I get an idea, I'm like, nah, I gotta lay this down now.
Right.
Because I believe that everything transfers, energy, ideas, all of that. So when God blesses you with an idea, He gonna give it to you only for a certain period of time.
Right.
Before
Oh
somebody-
my
So you
gosh. I talk about this all the
You
time.
ever realize, like, yo, I had this idea, I ain't tell nobody.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, like 6 months go by, a year go by, and then you see somebody else
Yeah,
doing exactly what
yeah.
you're supposed to do.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I'm not doing that no more.
I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I talk about this all the time. I have this client, right? I help him with his business. And literally, I'll come up with an idea and then, like, I won't move on it. And then 6, 7, 8 months later,
Execute,
not
execute,
even, it'd be
execute.
like weeks sometimes. And he'd be like, yeah, I really think we should do this. I'm like, damn. Like, this is my idea.
Yep. Man, I'm still
Yeah, you
beating myself
gotta-
up over gluten-free cookies, man.
You know what?
We was ready for gluten-free cookies in 2011, bro, and that shit ain't had to hit the pot till 2013. I'm still mad about that.
And like, that's why, like, right now, I got some ideas right now. I'm not gonna share it right now because I can do it off the record.
Uh-huh.
But
Okay.
right now, I'm not speaking on it because I got some ideas that's really gonna change the game, and this is like something that I'm shooting to do because I feel like quality of life is different when you can really like truly live your life and move freely as you want to.
Right.
I don't know if y'all seen the Kanye interview from
The Drink Champs one?
Drink Champs,
Yeah.
where he says like he's like, oh, I don't have a home, like I live out my bag.
Yes.
I
I want to
just-
do that, though.
That's really
That's the life I want to live.
I'm not gonna hold you. There's a lot of cities I could go to with just my soul machine and I'm good. Like I don't gotta open my wallet for nothing. And it's because you build and you cultivate these relationships with people, And when you have good relationships with people, they're gonna take care of you. And I feel like compassion, that's the greatest currency, compassion, you feel me? So we gotta just really gotta get back to the basics of humanity.
That's
For
a fact.
real.
You know what I'm saying? So we just gotta tap back into that and really just like love each other more, and appreciate
And
each
appreciate
other.
it, bro.
Gratitude goes a long way.
That
Gratitude
so
is the
true.
basis for abundance, bro. So
Yes,
that's a fact.
Right.
That's a fact.
And that's why I'm so like intentional is like the word of the year for real.
Yeah.
About who I bring around me and who I bring into my business, because you can't do it by yourself. You need a team. So my next thing was gonna be, you said that to make your pieces you spend hours in front of the sewing machine.
Yeah.
Is it just you or
So when it comes to I actually just found a manufacturer, and she produces like my knit stuff. So like
Okay.
I've been doing like I dropped a whole like knitwear collection, and that's been going pretty well because I found a good manufacturer, you
Right.
know, and they do amazing work. So in that aspect, that was something that I was able to drop at the dime of, because I don't have to sit there and make every piece.
right?
But in terms of like a lot of my custom stuff, and when I do have ideas, that's all me,
Yeah.
So, like I said, I could be there for hours, days, sometimes, like locked in, just sewing, because at the end of the day, it needs to get done, and I do it. My thing is bringing people onto the team. It's like this is my baby,
Right.
So,
I know.
so for me, like I have a certain quality, standard that I want my stuff to have. So it's really hard for me to sometimes step away and let other people do the work. But there's certain aspects of it that you get tired of doing, and it's like, okay, you can't really mess this up too much. So I'm gonna let you come in and do this aspect. So I am looking for interns, preferably local, because That way they could be hands on, and
Yeah.
I could teach them certain things, and they could do. Not to say the stuff that I don't want to do because it's
Listen.
Listen, it's delegation, bro.
Yeah, now of
Delegation.
course, like
Wage activities. We don't do those when we're trying to build an empire.
saying so, like every part of it is important.
Of course.
So they gotta. It's just because I feel like as a CEO of a company, you gotta be capable of doing everything.
Yes.
Because God forbid something happen and somebody can't show up, the job gotta get
You
done.
gotta
So you
jump
gotta
in.
know how to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And I want to be able to when the time comes and I'm really building out my team and we're establishing ourselves as a collective, I want everybody to understand that I was once in your shoes and I'll sit there with you. I'll sit there right with you and like if a perfect example, we right here. I'm saying I don't know how to use the mic.
Right.
I'm there to be like, I'm gonna set your mic up.
Yeah.
Like, she's the boy. You feel me? So it's just like when in situations like that, I want to be able to come down and just be like, I'm gonna help you directly because I want everybody. We got to be close. We got to be close knit. Like it's a family. It's a family. Like that's how I look at business.
So someone on our Instagram live asked, what kind of interns are you looking for?
So I would prefer somebody who has some sewing knowledge, but sewing knowledge isn't necessary because
You can teach them.
Yeah, I could teach, and then there's pattern making, which is the first step of designing before you even once you have an idea in your mind, you gotta create a pattern first.
Right.
There's pattern making, there's cutting. So and that in itself is a whole nother thing.
Yeah,
When
it's a whole nother thing.
I found a local manufacturer, and they were like, you could come into our site, and you could cut the stuff yourself, and you could save money. So I went in, and I cut all the pieces out myself. The big. I don't know if y'all see like a whole bunch of like the manufacturer pages popping up on Instagram now.
Yeah.
You know that big saw that they be using when they cut through like 50 layers of fabric. Yeah. So I had to lay the fabric out. With that big saw, cut it out myself, and then tie it off each size, and then they cooked it up for me. Saved myself a little pretty penny.
Somebody said they gonna make you an intern search.
Flyer.
Right.
Yep.
Yes. That's
Thank you.
what.
See, look at
That's what
that.
Making
That's
Moguls
what's
is
on
about.
Black
Look at that.
Okay.
Look at
That's
that. I
right.
Sharing
appreciate you.
resources.
That's the network right there.
All right.
I got a question for you. Cause me and my bro right here, we grew up in the same neighborhood.
Wait, hold up.
Yeah,
Y'all
so
know
I
each
was
other?
going
What
before you
is
say that, I
this?
was gonna comment on something. 6 degrees of separation is crazy because it's not even. I don't even think it's 6 anymore because, first of all, we both from Flatbush and my father's from St. Vincent.
And I'm
He's
from-
Wow.
So yeah, it's real close. It's close. It's a lot closer. It's a lot closer than people realize. It's a lot closer.
Wow. Okay, go ahead.
So first, I want to ask for all the kids, especially for all the kids in St. Vincent, what inspired you to get started? Like, what inspired you to like pick up a sewing machine or decide that fashion was your outlet for art?
Alright, so first off, I started modeling. My mom got us into me and my siblings into modeling, and I was 14 at the time when I started modeling.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I got to see fashion from a different perspective because it wasn't mainstream fashion. It was, these young creatives who use fashion as their outlet. And for me, being honest, that was my first time being exposed to fashion and seeing at some point too, seeing black male designers, that look like me. You know what I mean? So it was just like seeing somebody who you could relate to.
Right.
That's one aspect of it, But then also it was like a lack of resources. I couldn't afford, designer clothes, and then once you start working for these emerging designers who have like these such unique styles, you start looking at designer stuff because that's the only thing that comes close to what they're creating,
Yeah.
So then you go into these stores, you look at Louis Vuitton, you look at all this stuff, and I'm like, I can't afford this. 14, 15 years old, can't afford this. So, I think it was like my 17th, or my 18th birthday, where we actually had a sewing machine in the house my whole life. Had a sewing machine in the house my whole life, but I didn't know.
So nobody used it.
It was
Got
under
it.
that cloth.
It was
that-
not. It was one of those.
Right.
It was one of those that fold into a table, so it looks
Oh
like a
yeah,
side
yeah, yeah,
table.
yeah.
Then you
Then you
open
fold
the
it.
top.
Yeah.
So
A nice singer with the foot press.
nah, it wasn't. It actually wasn't a singer. It was a sumo, and my pops had got it from this fabric. This furniture store he used to work at.
Okay,
At the
okay.
time, he was working at this furniture store, and they closed down. So they told everybody, they're like, "Yo, you can get one thing from here," you know.
Yeah.
So they told, you know what I'm saying. So my dad took this side table. I had the sewing machine inside,
Wow.
and who would have known that that one act would have,
Turned
led to
into
this whole
this.
entire
Yeah.
thing. You feel me? Like that's why
Wow.
everything that happens in life happens for a reason. You know, no matter how small something appears to be in that moment, like. Look how impactful that was. Like him having a sewing machine in the house. The day I said, "Yo, I think I wanna get into sewing." He's like, "We actually have one in the house." He showed me how to thread the machine. My dad took home ec when he was in St. Vincent when he was.
Yeah. I was
kid.
gonna say yeah.
So he knew how to thread up the machine, but he's like, "Yo, I haven't touched the machine in years, so I don't really remember how to sew like that." But it's everything's lined up, so go for it.
Right.
So I just took it from there and I started sewing. And again, like I said, lack of resources, I couldn't afford the stuff I wanted, so that's what got me into sewing. But what kept me into sewing was realizing that I became what I wanted. What I feel like I needed, especially being a young kid from Flatbush. You feel me? Like, fashion isn't the thing.
Nah.
I'm saying you rapping, you playing ball,
Yeah,
getting it, stuff like
facts.
that. You feel me? So being able to be to be able to represent a whole entire field, and show people like, yo, this fashion thing is cool. Like, I feel like I'm a pretty cool person. You feel me? So,
That's a fact.
so because it's one thing when somebody's a cornball and they do
Yeah,
something,
they do
and it's
something,
like,
yeah.
yo, I don't care. Like, that's not gonna make me want to do it. But when you do something and people think you're cool, that's the best thing. Cause like when I do work with kids and stuff like that, they're like, oh my gosh, like, where'd you get that jacket from? And I'm like, I made it. They're like, you actually made that? Like, and then some kids are like, oh, only girls sew. And I'm like,
All right.
let me tell you something.
Let me
show you something about this sewing thing, And like after a while, everybody gets into it. Like I actually worked at the PAL a couple years ago, where I was teaching fashion design. So the way I broke
wow.
it down was, we had kids, we broke them into groups, and we created entire brands. So they started off creating like their mood board, coming up with their brand name, their logo, and stuff like that. But when the budget doesn't exist for certain things, you can't really expand to the capacity that you want to.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta step away, focus up, and then come back, because you can't give from an empty cup. So I have some plans, some big plans that I really want to tap into in terms of like creating and providing spaces where people could come in and learn how to sew. Actually, not even just learning how to sew, but I want to basically create like a fashion hub. So it facilitates every facet of fashion. So
That
you
sounds like
talking
some
about
new heat shit.
I know. I'm gonna get there. Let her finish.
So you're talking about from product ideas, styling, graphic design, encompassing anything that you need as a
Right.
part of the product, the process of creating a garment, launching a brand, and all of that. Everything, photo shoots, models, like we're gonna have everything in house, and we're gonna create, like, the goal would be basically to break people off into teams. So the team will be broken down into people who enjoy a very specific niche within fashion, right? So
Right.
if you like styling, you're not gonna be on a team with another stylist. You're gonna be on a team with a designer. And if you want a model, you're gonna be on a team with him and a designer. You feel me?
Right.
So every team is gonna be created based on need. So like everybody who has a specific skill set or a specific want,
Could
they're
tap
gonna
into each
they're
other.
gonna
I
tap
like
in
that.
together. So by the time, and the goal is to have it as like a 8-week program, or start it off, whether it's we do an 8-week program or like a 4-month or whatever case is.
Yeah.
Create the timeline for it. But by the end of the whole entire program, you're gonna have a brand. You're gonna have an LLC and a whole entire team. So it's not a matter of, oh, I gotta look for somebody because I'm a designer and this just catered to me and the creative process. It catered to every facet of your business. So now you are completely covered from A to Z, and you go on, and then tapping in and having my own manufacturing company. That's another goal. So that would be the manufacturing company that they'll go through. So production
Yeah.
basically in
Everything
house.
in house. Yeah.
Everything in house, and then to up it, you feel me? Black ownership. I would then create a fashion house, and every brand that comes from this nonprofit would be under the fashion house. You feel me? So,
Wow.
all in all, we just gonna create, and we just gonna keep providing opportunities, because a lot of the time, what I realized, especially when I went away to college, was I had friends who were like, "Yo, I hate my major, but I'm doing this because it makes money, or I'm doing this because this is what my parents want me to do." And it's like, nah, that's a dub.
That's not
I'm not doing that. I mean, I never intended on having my parents take out any loans, so all my loans were in my name from jump.
Oh,
But
wow.
that wasn't indicative of like my parents being like, "Oh, you gotta go to school for this." Like, my parents were completely supportive of where I went to school, what I did,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But that's just to say, like, go to school for what you want to do. But what I want to do is I want to be able to show people, like, yo, some of these unconventional jobs that you don't think there's money in, there's money in it. Especially to like first generation Americans. You got people who their parents are like, "Oh yeah, don't get into fashion. There's no money in that. Like,
Right,
go
'cause
be a
they don't
doctor,
know.
go
Yeah,
be a
go be a
lawyer,
lawyer,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
uh-huh.
Go be an accountant." But then, like, imagine being 10 years old in this program where you're working to create a brand, and then by the time you're done, your team won, so we're gonna produce your entire collection. And now you're making more money than your parents
Right.
at 10 years old. You feel me? Like,
Uh-huh.
I'm saying, so
Gosh, I love
it's crazy. One other thing that I forgot to say at the beginning, so I just want to run back. I don't know if y'all know who the shoe surgeon is. He's a
Yeah, I think so. I heard him.
so he's a sneaker designer. So
Yeah.
And he takes like old sneakers and
yeah.
yeah.
So I forgot to even mention I was on the Nick Cannon show.
Yeah, I saw.
But,
I started scrolling. I was like, "Oh wow!"
Listen, go follow him. After this, when he's done, you're gonna hear his Instagram. You're gonna follow his Instagram. You're gonna check his journey, okay? Because this is an
Yes.
extra special one.
So, I actually got to tap in with the shoe surgeon. He one of the greatest pioneers when it comes to like the custom shoe space. He's been doing it for like 20 years. He told I got a chance to chop it up with him actually, because after I did the Nick Cannon thing, somebody sent him my page and he followed me. So I DM'd him and I'm like, "Yo, bro, I love your work. Like, let me know if we could link up." And he's like, "Yo, I'm in New York right now. What's up? Come this weekend." So, I pulled up. He actually teaches people how to make shoes from start to finish.
Oh wow.
So he has a course, and I got a chance to sit in it. He has a spot out in the South Sea Seaport.
Okay.
So I went over there, and his youngest student for the class was I think was like 14 years old, 14, 15 years old.
Oh wow.
Making his
love
first
that.
Jordan 1 from start to finish.
Crazy.
And it was a beautiful thing for me to see, because it's like being that young and knowing what you want to do, or having an affinity towards something, and having your parents be able to provide you to be able to have access to that type of thing, and that's another reason why I want to do something like this, because then we can provide that access. And like you were saying, like, the streets is hot right now, you feel me? If you take them off the streets, what's gonna happen?
Exactly.
It's gonna cool down a bit. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta figure out ways to really create these spaces to really get these kids off the street and into something. Keep them
Yeah,
occupied and help them make some money.
And let them know that their future is not all about drilling and all of that stuff. That they can actually put something in and get something out of it.
Exactly.
I love that. Yo, it's crazy because to the point that you was about to make. So I have a creative studio downtown Brooklyn, right? And what you're talking about, definitely nowhere near the caliber and the heights that you're speaking of, but I've created a platform called Mogul University. So everything's tapped into Mogul, right? And we're creating a platform where people like you can come into our space and teach classes and just continue to provide resources for other people in the community.
You should have told me that.
I'm
'cause
saying,
let me know when to pull up. Let me know when to
As soon
pull
as I
up.
heard it, I'm like, yo, this right here, this that heat right here.
This
Like,
Yeah, nah, you gotta let me know when to pull up, because I'm gonna slide through.
Absolutely. It's so important for us just as creatives and as black business owners to be a part of this, influx of new people and new kids and
We got to create the future.
this
You know what I'm saying?
right.
You got to be the ones to pave the way.
But we got to help them up because there's a lot of people that's scared. They're like, oh well. First of all, there's children out here making 6-7 figures.
Yeah.
Okay? But people are getting so intimidated by that, and it's like, no,
Nah,
you be
and
proud.
That's why, that's why these out the mud success stories. That's why I gotta be successful. It's not even for me anymore. Like I
Right.
gotta be successful, but it's not for me.
Right.
I gotta be successful because I have to show them how possible it is. You know, I gotta show everybody from Flatbush how possible it is. You feel me?
That's a
Because
fact.
at the end of the day, it's like, yo, you could be almost there, and just because you weren't successful, they're gonna look at it as, okay, they're not capable. They can't
I'm
do
not
it.
gonna try
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they're gonna feel like they can't make it now because you didn't make it.
Right.
So I'm saying I can't slow up like to go further into it. Like we go through this journey, you feel me? And the road gets tough. We get depressed. We go through what we go through. You know what I'm saying? So like that part is hard, but we really gotta figure out that why. And once you figure out that why, that's what keeps you going at the end of the day. Because people always ask me like, oh, what's the goal for your brand? Like, what do you really want to accomplish? Like, is there like, oh, do you want to make $1 million? I'm like, yo, money has never been a goal
Right.
in terms of like, I've never wanted a quantifiable goal. Because you can achieve a quantifiable goal, and then what happens? You have to set another goal.
Right.
And you have to set another goal, and you have to set another goal.
True.
You feel me? And then you're chasing something for the rest of your life.
That is
So
a
that's
good
why I'm
point.
like, yo, I don't have quantitative goals. You can't. What the goal that I have in life is how many lives can I impact? You feel me?
Yes.
How many people can I inspire to say, you know what? I got up this morning because at 5 o'clock in the morning when I was about to go to the gym and I rolled over to get on Instagram and decided I wasn't going, I seen you was already there. You know me? Or the fact that
That's a
it'd be
good
3
point.
o'clock in the morning and I'm still in my studio sewing, so I get on live, you know, and somebody might see it, and just that, them seeing me up at that time, putting in that work, they're like, yo, you really grind, you really put in work for what you want, you know?
Right.
I gotta get on board. Like, I gotta really tap in with myself and what I wanna do and get serious and get focused up about my business, you know?
Right.
And that's really why I'm still doing this to this point, you know, because there's so many people I found out that I inspire on a regular.
Right.
And because of that keeps pushing me, because it's like, yo, I gotta make it, because I have to show them how possible it is. Because a lot of people, they deal with, you know, their parents' fear and, you know, their parents' trauma with coming to America and, oh, the American dream, and them ended up coming here to live worse than they lived, you know, where they were back home. Because, like, my dad says it all the time. When I was younger, he would be like, yo, you know, at the end of the day, I never have to worry about food when I was back in St. Vincent, because, you know, you eat off the land.
You just go pick a mango off the tree.
Pick a mango, get a coconut, you know what I'm saying?
We ain't got that. They ain't
saying,
got that here.
You know, and then when you have all your land and you got the potatoes and you got, you know what I'm saying?
Everything just there, like
Make a good provision soup on a Sunday.
that's a fact. Bro.
and just, you know, and just eat that and you good. No, so like, we just gotta really be the generation that really changes that narrative, you know, because like you said, there's people on TikTok making 6-7 figures, and that becomes the norm. Because when you look at it, you like, yo, you 14 years old making way more money than me and my parents combined.
Right.
So I just feel like we gotta be honest about like I said, about the out the mud journeys, and I don't like to sugarcoat any of it in terms of like it being all, you know, like a walk in the park, because it's not.
Yeah, it's
It's
really
not a walk in the park.
Gosh, it's really not.
Like, we deal with a whole lot. So, like, as a designer, you have people who don't understand the time that actually goes into creating a piece, you know? So I've had people hit me up like, yo, I need something for tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
yo,
bro.
And then when you tell them the price, you're like, yo, if you ordered this 2 weeks ago, this would have been the price.
Right.
But because you're ordering it the night before,
Rush fee.
I have to charge a rush fee that's like times 5.
Yeah,
Because now I got to stay up all night to make sure this is done for you in the morning.
Right, I have to put aside whatever else I was doing
Whatever
and
else.
prioritize it.
Exactly. So unless you're willing to pay, we're not doing this.
Right.
And before I was like, you know what? It don't even matter, because at the end of the day, bills need to get paid. My landlord not going to be like, yo, You feel me? So I was taking on everything. Like it didn't matter how soon you needed it. You could need it for tonight. If I could make it in if it's something I know I can make in 3 hours, I'm like, yeah, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
And I'm not even like, if you're like, yo, I can't do the rush charge, I'll just charge you regular price because at the end of the day, bills need to get paid. So you got to do what you got to do. But this year I'm like, yo, I let go of all of that. I'm like, yo, God gonna provide for me.
That's a
So
fact.
at the end of the day, even if I don't have abundance right now, I'm gonna be good because my bills gonna be paid, and I'm gonna have something to eat. You know what I'm saying? All the
That's what
extracurriculars,
They gonna
all the
come when it
extra
needs
is
to.
gonna come.
It'll
It's
come.
gonna come.
It'll come
You know
when
what
it's
I'm saying?
supposed to come. So that lined up my last question before we wrap everything up. So right now, where you are in your career and with your company, what is some advice you would give to someone that's coming up? How old are you?
I'm 28.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
cool. All right. What advice would you give someone that's coming up and they don't have much money? So we're still pre great grand idea about how you can help them in the future, but right now, what is some advice that you would give?
To somebody who wants to.
They want to start a brand, they want to start a clothing line or a custom clothing company, but they just don't have the funds.
Okay, so I would definitely say there's certain ways you could go about doing it, right? So if you want to start a t-shirt brand and you don't have upfront money, you can always do print on demand to start. You feel me?
That's
So
fact.
you have your idea, you send it out, and they fulfill all your orders.
Printful is a great option for that.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So you could do that, and you don't even have to have a dollar to your name. All you have to have is a good idea.
Yep.
So you could do that, make some bread off of that, and then flip it, purchase a sewing machine. Once you get a sewing machine, you know what I'm saying? You can start with the whole like upcycling. So you take old clothes and you refab that, turn it into something new. You don't got to spend no bread. Pass the sewing machine, and you can get a decent sewing machine for like $125. You know, so you get the sewing machine, you start repurposing your clothes, and then once you get a little bit more money, well, not even getting a little more money, because after that, you see, I just repurposed these jeans. I'm like, yo, send me 2 pairs of jeans at $50, and I'll do this for you.
Yeah.
And then you take that $50, you pocket that. You don't need anything but some thread. You flip these jeans. You got scrap fabric, and now you come to me and you're like, yo, I need a pair of jeans. I'll be like, $50. You give me your 1 pair of jeans. I still got scrap from your jeans. And you feel me? Now I got $100 and I ain't spent nothing.
Yeah.
But the bread for a sewing machine. You know what I'm saying? So it's doable. It's just the fact that out the gate, people want to make a lot of money.
Right.
And that's the facade when it comes to fashion, because I've had people be like, yo, do you do fashion because it makes a lot of money? I'm like, it has the potential to, but right now it doesn't,
right.
you know? But that goes to say, it's just finding the methodology that works for you, you know?
Right.
So it's always easy to go get a product, sell a product, take the profit, invest back in your initial investment, and keep doing that and keep flipping that.
That's
you know,
smart. That was
So-
exactly the answer I was looking for.
So yeah, that's the easiest way. That's my best advice. And in terms of getting into sewing, YouTube is your best friend, but
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah.
Practice.
YouTube
you
and
know?
practice, bro. Cause even right now with my t-shirt press stuff that I be doing, it be taking the time. But as you said, you got to put that time in. You got to take that time. And so for
I'm
everybody
so
out there
bad at
that's
sewing.
listening, you just got to take that time. You got to put that time in, man. As they said, 10,000 hours, man, make mastery. So
And for you, if you're doing heat pressing, I recommend just learning about, especially if you're doing like 1 color or 2 color designs.
yeah,
I recommend you just learning about screen printing. And then just making that investment. They have a good screen print setup on Amazon. It's like $200-$300.
okay.
So you invest in that. You learn the process of like creating your own screens, or you can, now they have them where you can order your own screens. So you can literally get on a website, order the screen. You just set your screen yourself, and then you can print 1,000 shirts off of one screen print.
Yeah, that's true.
All you need to invest in is the ink and the blank
The ink and
tees.
the blank,
So
yeah.
it ends up being more cost efficient, and you get higher output too.
Okay.
So that's my recommendation for you.
That's what's up. Thank you,
Listen,
bro. I appreciate
this is
no
why y'all tune in every Monday
Every
at
fucking
7
Monday.
because we always got the gems dropping. So, tell them where they can find you and continue to, tune into your journey.
All right, so y'all can follow me on Instagram. It's Mario MarioAndlee. We have a website. It's marioandlee.com. On our website, we actually have a custom order form. So that's if you want anything that you don't see on the website, which is currently just our two collections that we have out right now. That's the only thing on the website. So everything else you go through the custom order form, fill it out, and then we'll reach out to you. Um, and then I have a personal Instagram. I don't even remember my handle. I think it's like Lionel.Nichols or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you can follow me on that too. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just grateful to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for coming. Oh, real quick. So,
Uh-huh.
where does the brand name Mario and Lee come from?
So like I said, when I first started designing, I started when I first started like getting into fashion, it was through modeling, you know. So when we first started modeling, my older brother and I actually wanted to start this thing where we were like fashion icons, where we like style icons basically.
Yeah.
So we would just like style ourselves and make stuff for ourselves, you know. And that was the original thing that we were doing, where like we would get together and like do like these denim jackets and stuff like that. So his middle name is actually Mario, and part of my middle name is Lee. And we wanted to create a name that didn't close doors on us, because like when you look at names, you know what they say about the job interviews. They see a name and they're like, because I'm gonna put this out there. I'm putting this out there for y'all. The first name that we came up with, remember the time? It was 2011. You gotta remember the time, because it was 2011, right? It was Swag Bros.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, that would not have aged well.
That wouldn't work.
Yeah.
That would not have
We would
aged
not
well.
be
You feel
here.
me? That would not have aged well. So I'm just grateful that we ended up deciding like, yo, we're not gonna go with Swag Bros, because that's not gonna provide
Right.
longevity.
Right.
You know, so when people hear Mario only, people are like, yo, that sounds like a luxury brand. Like,
It sound Italian as fuck,
Yeah.
I
bro.
mean, like
Facts.
nobody knows, like, unless you like, if you just see the pieces, not a single soul. If you just see my pieces on a rack, you would not know what I look like.
Nope.
If you know nothing about the
Right.
brand, and that's what I wanted to achieve.
That's what's
I
up.
love that.
Well, congratulations, bro.
Alright.
Congratulations.
The ambiguity.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Absolutely. VJ?
All right, y'all can find me at Vijano, VE_JANO. Follow the brand Cannon Baddies. Everything else,
Okay.
just email me. That's it.
That's a fact. And it's your girl, Dime. You can follow me on Instagram at Dime Smith. That's Dime with a Y, not an I. Make sure you continue to tap in every Monday. Making Moguls. It's Mogul Monday. You feel me? 7 p.m. on Extreme 104 FM. We're gonna be launching the podcast on Spotify
Okay.
sometime in
okay.
February. Because listen, I gotta put it out there, because if I don't put it out there, then it won't get done.
Listen, we
Yeah, now they got something to hold you accountable for. Now they can hold you
Right.
accountable,
That's
because
why I do it on air.
yeah, you have to, like, even like, yeah. I just say, and if you doing a podcast, you feel me? If you ever, know what I'm saying,
of course, bro.
I pop out for the podcast. It don't got to be fashion related.
Yeah,
I'm saying,
you just gonna.
yeah, I just pull up and
All right.
go chop.
Look, we friends now.
Yeah.
So
Facts. We here.
nah, definitely make sure you follow everybody you heard on the show today. Keep tapping in every Monday. Like I said, 7 p.m. Making Moguls on Extreme 104 FM. And we got a lot of dope stuff coming up. I'm really excited. The Mogul Retreat is at the end of March.
Okay.
We're going to Atlantic City. I'm bringing 10 beautiful business ladies with me to Atlantic City to talk about business, work on branding, work on marketing, and all that good stuff. Who we got on next week? We actually got Steph.
Oh, Steph is next week.
Yes, VJ will not be here for 3 weeks, y'all. Okay,
Yeah.
make sure y'all go follow him on Instagram and then DM him and curse him out. Thank you.
Tell me-
Appreciate
Yeah, if I really wanna
y'all.
be back, let me know. I'll be back. Don't worry.
But yes, make sure you stay tuned in. We got my girl Kanika coming up with Spill It. All right, and we out.
Yeah.